Vital not to change things too much, not to upset the rhythm of the side. Certainly we know on Sunday going against Featherstone it took a while to find that sort of offensive rhythm, see that offensive rhythm click. Why do you feel it took a while to get going on Sunday, Brian?
Because we were playing one tackle football. I don't care who you are. If you have one drive and a kick or one drive and a drop, it's difficult to build any momentum. And the players know that, that they're not silly. I think we need to be a lot better in a lot of areas.
Mentioned strong performances from Elliot Paposhi and Sam Hallas. Is it fair to say that they're both potentially going to be rewarded by being in contention to play in this big playoff game on Friday night?
Yeah, I'd barely allude to that mix as well. I thought that quite a few people put their hands up. It's clear we'll bring people back in, but I don't think they've done themselves any harm whatsoever.
Zach Fulton, you said passed the HIA. No secret, after the game he did have a nasty gash, a bit of a cut on the lip. How is he this week? And I presume he should be good to go for Friday.
Yeah, he's had a bus slip. He'll be all right.
Logan Bayliss, we mentioned the shoulder injury. Brian, how is Logan?
Don't know. We'll find out tonight. He's had some procedures. I haven't spoken to him, so when he comes in tonight, I'll have a chat with him.
I'm kind of guessing, Brian, you're probably going to want players who are 100% fit, and if there's anyone who's ever so slightly just short of that, it might be a game that they do miss out on.
Yep.
6 changes made Sunday. Players are going to come back refreshed. Are you expecting a similar amount of changes on Friday?
I'm not sure until we practice tonight. We've got a short turnaround, so it's important we get it right. But the one thing you're right about is I won't take any risks with anybody.
And I'm kind of guessing, Brian, if there is a number of changes, do you see that carrying any risks in terms of that continuity and rhythm that you've highlighted and mentioned?
No, I think the players that have been playing, didn't play last weekend, will be chomping at the bit, and the ones that came in showed that they're chomping at the bit. We've got a good group of people here, and they all want to play. So making sure the right ones play is important.
It is the playoffs. We're here, set for set, end to end, no second chances. As you quite rightly highlight, Brian, numerous times, it's Trapdoor Rugby League. How excited are you for the start of the Championship playoffs and that game against Featherstone on Friday?
Well, it's the whole season on the line, isn't it? I think we've had a fantastic season. We've improved again on last season and the season before and the season before that. So the growth of the club, both on the field and off the field, is not only palpable, it's measurable. And that's a good thing for the game of rugby league. But we want to finish well, we want to finish strong. We've got a determined group of people. And so you're right, you've got to play your best football.
Just on your reflections on the season, Brian, Bradford did finish third again, but there was improvement on the field, more wins, and certainly more points from that offensive side of things.
And I think defensively we levelled what we did last year as well. So there's improvement, measurable improvement right across the board in the last 3 years, both in points scored and points conceded, and win percentage, as you quite rightly point out. I think it's been a terrific year. Clearly there are some bits that we perhaps didn't get quite wrong when we analysed ourselves, but that's part of progress. Part of progress is making sure you get it right next time you get an opportunity.
As someone who's been here before with these do or die playoff games, Brian, how does that mental preparation for a big knockout playoff game differ from the regular season match, especially everybody knowing there's no second chances if you were to lose?
Well, that's the narrative. There's no next week if you lose, and I think this group of people like each other. Our team like each other, they like each other's company, and I'm sure they want to continue it for another 3 weeks.
Have you felt the need to sort of amplify that sort of trapdoor, no second chance mindset to your squad?
Not yet, but I'm sure there'll be the odd moment. I'm sure we'll examine where we're at and what we've been doing. And it's been mentioned by some of the players already in the last few weeks. We've been disappointed with some of our forays into the big games, and now we've got a chance to put that right, so that's what we're trying to do.
In your experience, Brian, what do you feel are the biggest sort of physical and maybe strategic differences in playoff games, you know, compared to those regular season outings?
Well, you have to beat your best, but by your best, you have to be an 8 out of 10, pretty much everybody, or at least 12 or 13 of your players. What you can't afford to do is for people to go away from the script and do things that wouldn't normally happen to the team. And so if you can do that, you can measure things and you can get into positions where you might be able to win a game rather than lose it by your behaviours.
And I'm kind of guessing, Brian, that puts kind of added pressure on you. Hopefully there's no setbacks from a Bradford point of view, but obviously in a game of trapdoor rugby, if there is an incident or a setback during the game, you've got to obviously, you and Lee Greenwood have got to behave and act differently to a normal league game.
Yeah, I'm not sure. No, I don't think you actually do behave any differently. You behave in the way that you want the team to play most weeks and to be successful. And if you look at how successful, and we've had some cracking games this year, played some really, really good football, and at times defended better than anybody else in its competition. Well, you've got to cement those two together because you don't get an opportunity next week.
I know we've covered a little bit of it, Brian, but what will be your expectations and your sort of message to your sides at 7:30 on Friday evening, just before the run out ahead of this game?
Sorry, could you say that again?
That's my watch. It's such a demanding piece of kit, is my watch, telling me to speak sense. No different than any week. I think we've got a group of players that they know what's at stake. They know what they should do. They know what's right and right. But yeah, pressure does build. But pressure builds for the opposition as well. And so I think that, you know, we just need to be ready to play our best and do some of the things that we've highlighted that gives us the best opportunity. That's the key. Do the things that gets us to the places we want to be.
When Bradford and Featherstone met on Sunday, it was a real tight, tense encounter. Is there anything, Brian, that you feel you can learn, or anything that you have learned from that game that you feel can benefit your side on Friday evening?
Yeah, get past player one would help.
Is that something you've focused about, the amount of drop ball that put you under a lot of unnecessary pressure?
Well, it was wet weather, and you have to play wet weather football, and there's a way that you do that. And I thought we were a little bit naive in that respect. We won't be naive again.
I think your weather forecast might be a bit more accurate than mine. I know we're blessed here on a Wednesday afternoon with the sunshine, and at Tong, certainly a drier track, drier conditions will certainly help your side, as well as Featherstone.
Yeah, help Featherstone as well, and I just want to remind you it's Tuesday, mate. Don't be throwing a day away, and that's a Wednesday afternoon, so make sure you get your days right, or you might be embarrassed to find nobody at Odsal.
Sorry, it's with the press conferences all changing every week, but you know, everybody, yourself, the players, the fans are expecting a classic and a great encounter. I know we've touched upon this before. How important is that good discipline, as you mentioned, not coming up with an error early in the tackle count, and also on that defensive side, conceding penalties and those set restarts?
Well, Featherstone have the best narrative in the fact that they're saying that they're busted and got no players, they've got no halves, etc, etc. I've just seen too many rugby league games where somebody can get a result in those circumstances. So we need to be very, very ready. They're a good team, they're well coached by Cookie. I really respect what he does. And so we've got to be ready for another close tussle, but coming on the right side of that.
I know we touched on it a little bit last week, but do you see any psychological advantage to what happened at Odsal on Sunday afternoon that can, you know, get you past the post on Friday?
Well, of course it plays its part. And some of the players might be thinking about that. Our players need to be thinking on the fact that we need to get to the semi-final, and we want to get to the semi-final, but so do Featherstone. And so all of the aspects of a cup tie are there, the playoff game, all the bits of pressure, the psychological pressure that come with it. Of course people think about that. It's the team that puts that to the back and focuses on performance that will get over the line.
How much motivation do you feel you can get from that prize? The winner on Friday night is going to be going to Toulouse in that huge semi-final showdown.
Well, and the loser goes home with nothing. That's enough. That's enough motivation for us.
And just finally, Brian, in playoff scenarios in games like this where it's win or go home, how much more critical does home advantage and the fact you're going to have that vociferous, large home support behind you on Friday night?
Our fans have been brilliant this year, and they've helped us along the way. They've shared our disappointments and they've shared our high bits, and there's been plenty of high bits for the team this year. We want to finish well, they want us to finish well, and they can play their part by being as noisy as they've been all year.
And just finally, this potentially, Brian, could be your last home game in charge at Odsal if the playoffs go to how people would expect them to go. So it's going to be quite an emotional evening for yourself.
Yes, absolutely nothing to do with me. It's about the players, and of course it's about the fans. I want us all to go into the semi-final and continue this journey, and so do the players. So we'll have a very determined group.